Hello everybody, this is Pat Walker at Mission Winners. We're rocking on here looking at the ETFs. You can say, why do we do this? It's not a case of we like to look at a bunch of charts. Okay, we all got better things to do. But what do we want to do? We want to be organized. Why not look at the leading ETFs and see which ones are strong and which ones are weak? BBH, this is the biotech ETF, rallied up to the 200. I'll shrink this a bit so you can see a bit more. How's that? More meaningful data. Okay, this is the 200-day, the 50-day, the 21 exponential, and the 8 exponential. Rallied up to the 200-day, look at that, and falls right off of it. There's an important investing lesson for everybody. People know about these important moving averages. Big money knows about them, and they use it for making investing decisions. Rallies up to it, falls right off of it. There you go. What does this say? Be careful with biotechnology stocks. The next one, cloud computing, rallies up, starts to fall again. Needs to start showing some life. Was looking good here, but it's gotten a little weak. Just be careful with cloud computing. The next one, autonomous driving vehicles. Rallies up, decent volume, it's pulling back a little bit. Some of these though, if you notice what this could do, maybe it's going to form a handle. All right, I'm not saying give up on them. I'm just saying be careful with them now, but keep watching them. I look at the ETFs every day. Why? It helps us make more money on better investing decisions. Dow Jones Internet, it's really, it's below the 200-day, rallied up, starting to fall again. Be a little careful with that. All right, there's power for you. The IBD 50 can't get going. All right, however, I will share this with you. What would be nice, and I'll draw it for you. There you go. Could form a cup with a handle. Lifts off, that could tell us. IBD 50, the quality growth stocks, there could be potential. Not yet, but it's something to watch. And we do this every day to be prepared. You can say, how long does it take you to go through the ETFs? Gosh, I guess we've got about 45 of them. It must take me close to a minute and a half. It's not that hard. There you go. And it helps us make better investing decisions. Gold miners, what does that tell you? Stay away from gold miners. Gold, what does that tell you? Stay away from gold. Biotechnology breaks out, just like BBH, breaks out, runs up, starting to lose its leadership here again. Maybe it'll go sideways and start to lift again. It did demonstrate some leadership, so something to be aware of. Online retail breaks out of a base right here. I'll draw this for you to help you. Clean and simple basis that everybody can see, nothing fancy. There it is. See the volume on this bar? Lift it up on this bar decent, then follows through here, goes sideways, and then really takes off here on volume, runs up. This is a classic case of why you sell some into strength, especially when you're below a falling 200-day moving average line. Starting to lose its leadership again and falling on a pickup in volume on Friday. Be careful with that. Oil and gas exploration hanging in there. Energy tells you, oh, you might want to look at some energy stocks. That's good to know. What do we have here? Technology software started to pick up some, starting to lose its leadership a little bit here. Be careful with software and technology. That's power for you. Medicine started to break out. Never really had any power, did it? See that bar? Breaks out and reverses and closes near the lows, rallies up on decreasing volume, starts to fall again on a pickup in volume. It's met with sellers. Needs better get over the 200-day. Started, but no power. It tells us to be aware of that. Medicine, another one. Here we go. Let's do this again. There we go. Technology, medicine, let me go again. Mid cap, breaks out, runs up. It's looking better. A little bit support here at the 200-day, we'll watch it, but it did show some life. It tells us maybe I need to look at some mid cap. What does that tell us? Maybe the rally's spreading out. Isn't that good to know? Home construction breaks out, and note, the volume was okay, but not that powerful on this bar, was it? And then what's it do? The next day, they slap it right back down. That's power to know. What is that? And it fell even harder on Friday. It tells us, be careful with home construction stocks. How many of you knew that? There we go. Growth, all right, S&P 500 growth, hanging in there. We'd like to see it base, form another higher low, and take off again. Something to watch. Growth, okay. Small cap, IWM, Russell 2000, rallies up to the 200-day. Think people don't know about the 200-day? Look at that. Up, down on a pickup in volume, up on less volume, down on a pickup in volume. Falling off the 200-day. It says If you bought down lower, you sell some into strength. And you should have been doing it well before Friday. It was telling you to. There's power there. You see this bar right here? Notice how it rallied up on a big drop off in volume. Then it tails off a bit on a slight pickup in volume. Every price and volume bar talks. I'll make that bigger so you can see it. Continue onward. Airline stocks. It's really lagging here, folks. Okay, this needs to show more life. Be careful with the airline stocks. Here we go. Regional banking showed some life, pushed over the 200-day, pulling back a little bit, but hanging in. Regional bank, it's nice to see the financials act a little bit better. Okay, mid-cap rallies up. It's hovering at the 200-day. Note the higher low. Note it is hanging in here near the 200-day. Now, I showed you IWM, okay, small cap, and I showed you the mid-cap. What does that tell us? Well, the rally's spreading out a little bit. That's good to see. There we go. Oil services is hanging in there. Note how this closed on Thursday. See these tops right here? And I'll do something for you. I'll draw this for you. You could say, maybe I need to look at some energy stocks. Okay, energy-related stocks. Oh yeah, gosh, what was one that we were involved with? What was that? Oh yeah, OXY. It was on the key list for Buy Friday. There you go. It works. Leading groups, leading stocks. This was picking up on Thursday, and a stock followed through, and the chart was good. Anyway, continue onward. Oil itself is not doing too much. Be careful with oil, all right? Online retail starts to break out, and they take it down. What does that tell you? You better be careful with online retail. Continue onward. U.S. infrastructure is hanging in there. PAVE, you might want to click on PAVE, the ticker symbol, and see what are the top 5 or 10 stocks in the group. That could help you maybe find a winner. That's connecting the dots. Pharmaceuticals, yeah, the drugs need drugs. They ain't working, all right? NASDAQ 100, QLD, higher low setup, buys, breakout here for more. Great run, sells into strength. What is it doing now? It's starting to lose a little leadership, okay? That's why we sell some into strength. There we go, small left. What I want to lose in the 2 are the 21-day. And it also fell on heavier volume on this bar, rallied up on less volume, and fell on heavier volume on this bar. That's connecting the dots. That's power for you. There you go. QQQ, same thing as QLD, hanging in there, pulling back just a little bit. Watch it and see what happens. Love to see that work. Retail's been doing decent. See that? Pulled back to the 200-day. A little bit of selling on this bar, but note, on this run, you could have said, maybe I should look at a couple of retail stocks, leading retail stocks. That's why we do this. Cloud computing broke out across these tops right here. Look at the volume pickup on that bar right there, folks. Runs up, but not a lot of power, and it gives it back. You can see there's power, but it's very select. It's not broad-based. Silver, that's tarnished. Okay, I had to say a little bit of dad humor. If my kids were here, they'd shake their head. Here we go. They do anyway, gee whiz, makes me sad. Anyway, steel. Steel rallies up to the 200-day and backs off of it. Look, falls on a big pickup in volume. What does that tell you? Right there. Be careful with steel stocks. That's power that most people don't know, and you do. Semiconductors, kind of hanging in there, but note this. Rallied up. That's a heavy selling bar. That's a reversal bar in about the same volume. Drops here on a pickup in volume. Goes up on less volume. Drops here on Friday on a pickup in volume. What is that saying? You better be careful with semiconductors. Needs to start showing some life. Many people don't know that. You do. That's good to know. Just make better investing decisions. S&P 500, Spiders has had a nice trend. That's good to see. Sold some more, sold into strength, sold some more. Heavier selling volume on that bar on Friday. Be aware of that. Resistance at the 200-day. Are we the only people in the world that know about the 200-day? Everybody knows about the 200-day. Everybody knows about the 50-day. And they use it to make investing decisions. SSO, higher low setup. Look at this. This low, higher than this low. Buys here, and that was a good run. And what have we been doing up here? Selling into strength. Those are sells right there. We're in great shape. No matter what happens, we have locked in good gains. We will make good money. It's that simple. And I'm not bragging. I'm just hardcore as far as money management is concerned. Solar's kind of hanging in there, but note this. Fell on a slight pickup in volume, fell on a slight pickup in volume, fell on a slight pickup in volume. A little bit of selling. The trend is still up, but be aware of that with solar and solar stocks. There you go. Small cap has been trending, Pulling back here a little bit, but notice it was exhibiting some leadership. That's good to see. Uranium, what does that tell you? Tells you to stay away from uranium, okay? You get a Geiger counter and do a heartbeat on it. Nothing. Here we go. Oil, U.S. oil, lagging. It was great back here. We had oil stocks and it worked out really well, but it's underperforming now. Be careful. Be careful with that, all right? Aerospace and defense is hanging in. Some broke out here. Matt rallies up. It's not a lot of power at this point in time. Needs to start demonstrating some power. Be careful with the aerospace defense. Another biotechnology ETF hanging in there. Fell on a little bit, pick up on volume. Needs to base here and start to lift again. Till it does that, stay away from biotechnology. That's simple. Home builders is trending nicely. Look at the trend. Pulling back here a little bit. Watch the home building stocks. Maybe it'll lead to something. Okay? See this? Materials, it's below the 200-day. You know, it's rallied up. Just not a lot of power at this point in time. Energy. It's acting decent. Another energy-related ETF. You see how you build a case? It's telling you, maybe I need to look at some energy stocks. That's power for you, and we've done that and been involved with them. Financials are acting a little bit better. They fell a little bit on Friday. Be careful with that. There was broad-based weakness on Friday. Industrials fell. Volume about the same. The trend is up, and it's looked nice. Look at the walk up the ADMA, and it's been active. Look at back here. I'm going to show you something. You could have looked at this back here and said, gosh, there's a little handle here. I guess if it takes out these tops, that'd be pretty good. You could have looked up XLI or just looked at this and said, if it goes across these tops here, I'll draw it for you. If it grows across these tops, maybe I should buy some XLI. Oh, gee whiz, gosh, we're the only people in the world that saw it. No, we weren't. Other people saw it too. And it lifted through on volume. And there you go. Technology's hanging in. Kind of trendy. That's good. Fell a little bit here. Tells us to be careful. Resistance to the 200-day. Needs to start showing some life. So what does that tell you? Be a little careful with technology stocks. Consumer staples is acting decent. Look at the pickup through that base right here. I'll raise this up for you. See that? Lift it up. You can see what's in the consumer staples section. There we go. Utilities acting good. That's good to see. You know, people say, oh, you know, in a rising interest rate environment, you stay away from utilities. You never want to touch it. Well, the chart's selling you something different. I'm not saying buy utilities now. I'm just pointing out, let the charts talk to you. There's a tremendous amount of information in the charts if you know how to read it. It's what we teach at Mission Winners. Healthcare just going sideways, but look at that long base. There's something right there. You could look at XLV for a potential buy if it breaks out, or you could look at the top 10 stocks in XLV and see if there's anything that looks really good, and then wait for a good base and wait for a breakout. Consumer discretionary lifted up, backing off a little bit, hits the falling 200-day. Look at that. Hits the falling 200-day and falls off of it. Hits the falling 200-day and falls off of it. You think we're the only people in the world that know about the 200-day? Everybody knows about the 50-day and the 200-day, and they use it. Big money uses it. There we go. Needs to start showing some life. What does it say? Stay away from consumer discretionary till it starts showing some life. That's simple. Metals and mining's hanging in fine. You see this? Fell a little bit on Friday, but overall hanging in fine. Support at the 200-day. You want to see it, hang on to the 200-day. Now you can say, boy, I'm interested in buying this. Don't buy it until it starts showing some life. That's power for us. Always, we know what to do. Looking at the charts helps us make better investing decisions. There's another energy ETF that's acting decent. How many energy ETFs did I show you that look decent? There you go, and they have looked decent. Retail rallied up, starting to fall a little bit. Be careful with that, falling on increasing volume. This is real choppy now, wide and loose. Be careful with that, all right? That can cause problems. Continue onward. Software was acting decent, but look at how it fell on that bar. You see that right there? That was serious selling. And then it went up a little bit on less volume. It's falling again. Tells you what? What does it say? Be careful if you own some software stocks. And the MAXLIST. Higher low setup. This low, higher than this low. Buys here, buys here. And that, folks, is what you call a moonshot. This is a good move, all right? Have sold some into strength, in great shape. Those that bought up here took it off, okay? But down here, have sold some into strength, everything's fine. Continue onwards. Amazon, higher low setup. This low higher than this low. Buys here, here, sold some in here, and then it started to make that run. Locked in some, in great shape. We'll make good money on this no matter what happens. Why? Because we already have. The tactics to buy and the tactics to sell work. Alibaba, bye-bye. There's nothing there. I mean, you look at this and say, oh, that's been nice. That's been a good trend. Yeah, this is a good trend. Down. There's nothing there. BIDU, similar situation. Just compare and contrast. I'll show this again. Here's Apple. Excuse me. Here's Apple. Okay. Here's BIDU. Nothing. There you go. Continue onwards. Google. Started to go, and it fell back, and we sold it for a very small loss. That's it. Have to wait. Just have to wait. Down on a pickup in volume on Wednesday. Down on a pickup in volume on Friday. Just leave it alone. Nothing to do with it. Continue onwards. Meta stops across here, but there's nothing to do with it. There's nothing. This is the old Facebook. Till it takes out that line, leave it alone. Nothing going on. Microsoft buys down here. Great run. Sells into strength. Finally started to lose the ADMA, and we sold the rest. Locked it in. There we go. There's the sold sign. Sells into strength. Helped us. Anything to do with it now? No, just wait. Maybe it'll form a handle. I'll draw it for you. Form a handle here, and then lift off again. And if it does, we'll be ready. There you go. Next stock on the list. Netflix. I'll raise this up a bit so you can see this. It's a low level base. Low level. But if you put it in perspective, I just showed you some stocks that have made some good moves. This just doesn't look so good, does it? Lost a tremendous amount of power. Our last sell was right up here. Okay, you can say, gosh, I don't think I've shown this to y'all before. See this clean, I'll make it bigger. See that clean and simple base? How often do I talk about clean and simple bases? Probably a couple of times a day, I think. Look at the volume pickup on that bar. That was a buy right there, and we did. And look at the trend. Going up, sells into strength, going up. Last sell right there when it lost the 50-day. There you go. Buy right here. We'll call it 525, 530, okay? And yeah, we were selling some into strength. I'm not going to say we sold up there at the top. No. But we made money on this way up. There you go. And that was our last sell. And that was a good sell. Anyway, just wanted to point that out to you. The tactics work. See this right now? Since mid-April, it's doing nothing. Leave it alone. Makes it easier for us. Continue onwards. NVDA. It's forming a base here. This was a higher low setup that we did. Okay, this was on the list. Lost it, sold it, made money. Now it's just going sideways. I've drawn the line. If it goes across this line right here, that could be a potential buy. There you go. In fact, I'll do something for you to help you. There you go. There's the line. I'm not saying it's going to, but if it does, we'll be ready. We always have a plan. There you go. That's NVIDIA. MAXLIST stocks, love them. Yep, this one's on the max list. Tesla, higher low setup, buys. What a run. This was good. Ran up here, started to lose the 200-day, sold, locked it. Now what do? We wait. But do you see that line I've already drawn? Perhaps it'll go sideways and base and lift through here. And if it does, we'll be ready. Is there anything to do with it now? Only thing it could do now is if it pushed through the 200-day right there with really heavy volume, that could be a potential buy. But it's going to need A, really heavy volume, B, a good market. Till then, we wait. I guess we'd call that C, wouldn't we? Okay, here we go. Twitter's forming a little base here, but it's very news involved, right? With potential takeover talk and everything else like this. And it could be good and lift up, or it could be bad news and drop like a rock, like in here. Just be careful with news stocks.
Thank you for watching the video. We hope you enjoyed it. If you did, please hit like. Maybe hit that subscribe button. We come up with new content nearly every day. Also, check out the videos on the right. YouTube recommends the one on the top, and the bottom one is something we thought you might enjoy. See you next time.